Rolex collectors and lovers. I am starting a video series, some quick ones, just for educational purposes with vintage Rolex collecting and related parts. The thing that you run into a lot, at least I've seen, is a lot of them will come on like 34 millimeter models of the older vintage ones, like the Oyster Perpetuals, will come on leather bands. And then when somebody who picks one up may want to source out a correct, period correct band, used, of course, you can get them through other sources like eBay. If you're mindful and pay attention to what you're buying and the seller's reputation, you're pretty safe. So what I'm going to do is this particular band is the model reference 62510H, and it is from a late 80s Datejust. And someone asked me if these could be fitted to the 90s through 2000s GMTs, like the 16710 and 16700 GMT Master 1 and 2. Yes, they can. The only difference between the differences between the Jubilees is they are both marked. There's two styles, and they're both marked 62510H. The one for the Datejust doesn't have a stamping number 50 on the very end link on each side. The GMT version does. The only difference that separates these two is these end loops where the spring bar goes through the end link is wider on a GMT for the fatter 20 millimeter drilled lug spring bars. I can pick one up here. Come on. Okay. So there's your, I think the current reference number for Rolex part number is 23-9291. And that's the 20 millimeter fat drilled through lugs that we're all familiar with from up to 2003 when Rolex went no holes case on all the sports models. So the person asked me the question because he is having a hard time finding a used GMT Jubilee, the one with the 50 stamped on it. And he says if one does come up, it's over $1,200. It's out of his price range. These Datejust ones can be picked up for around $600, $500 to $600 with end links. And I'll cover the end links on another video, the correct ones that you should be looking for. But so this is the part where I get a little squeamish, but I do understand the need or the want to do it. If all you can do is find the Datejust version of the 62510H and you want to fit that to your 90s or 80s GMT, the only difference, as I said, was the loops here for where it attaches are smaller on the Datejust. All you need to do is take, this is an old Starrett scribe that tapers as the point goes up. You can get any scribe that does this, and you can basically run it through here and just ever so gently turn and gently push, and you can widen it just enough, just a little bit, to increase the size to fit the fatter shoulder of the spring bar. Is it something I would recommend doing? No, because I don't like manipulating parts. But the reality is the Datejust bands like this one come up way more often, and they can be used. And you see them fitted to a lot of them. A lot of GMT sports models that don't have the 50, and that's really the only difference between the Datejust 62510H and the GMT version is the loops are just spread out wider. I don't even think they're physically. I looked at the one off my 16700 GMT Master, and it's just, you can't even see. You'd have to measure it, but it's just ever so wider. And that's the difference that Rolex did to designate the Jubilee band between the two. So yes, you could do that. You can get you a scribe. I put a little oil on it, and it doesn't even need to be spread out that much, just to be able to push your spring bar through there to get it to fit See, and it's a little tight, so I need to open this up a little bit more if I wanted to use it. See if this end. Yeah, see, I haven't opened this one up yet. This is I did it on another Jubilee. It's so you can even see. So this is stock. This is a stock GMT Master, and you can see it actually starts, but it's very tight and it stops. That is for the Datejust with the smaller spring bars. So just taking this and ever so slightly spinning and pushing. And I put a little oil just to lubricate it, just enough, just to spread it apart, just enough, just to get this spring bar through, will be your fix to get them to fit correctly, and you'll have your Jubilee. So, and I know some purists will argue that this it shouldn't be done that way, but when you're dealing with used parts that are on the market right now through eBay or other sources, Chrono24. You got to kind of get with what pops up, because they're not making them anymore. And I can tell you from sourcing out a 50 stamped GMT Master Jubilee of this version, it was a long time, and I paid a pretty good price for it, even back about 4 years ago. And I've been kind of just eyeballing as I'm looking for other Rolex vintage parts that I pick up from time to time. And I always see the Datejust one come up. So I understand that if you really want to put a Jubilee on it, like I said, these are around, they can be had for around $500 if you look around. The other issue you're going to run into is the end pieces, and I'll cover that into another video from the ones from the Datejust that'll fit the curve of the GMT Master. But that's just this video on how to retrofit a Datejust Jubilee to a GMT Master sports model with the fat spring bars. Thanks.